one of the interesting things, I think, one of the interesting questions that people ask a lot is, once you have these starter content templates that you start up with in Unreal Engine, like, where do you go from there? Like, because when you're playing around in them, it almost seems like 90% of the game is already done or something. I don't know. I don't really see it that way, but I think that what you want to do, or the approach that I try to take, is to come up with some kind of a novel interaction method or a novel little feature and start just working that and chipping away at what are the problems around, how to handle input in a certain way, or just to solve a problem in a unique way. Just start there, and then use those starter content packages to come up with your solution. And don't really focus so much on trying to turn that feature build into your game. Instead, prove the feature in that one project. And if you don't include the starter content but just use the template, these projects aren't very big. And then just keep it around, and you can always open it again later and review that solution, and even copy and paste the blueprint content over into your final project. And it makes building things a lot less stressful because, well, I'm not starting a new project just to build a new video game. I'm starting a new project to just build a new feature. And then if you end up in a situation where you've got this cascade of I need these 5 components and these 5 components, then you can start iterating inside of something, because you've already proven, I've got enough components here that this is now worth continuing to work on in an aggregate. I wanted to mention that because one of the people that hit me up after my last video was like, oh, is this a new game project? And well, maybe it might be a new game project. I don't know. What I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to solve some problems in a way that I think might be nice to experience from a player's perspective. I have game concepts, of course, that I want to work on, but time commitments and all the other stuff, all I can really afford right now is to just work on features. If one of those things turns into a game, that'd be fantastic. And I thought that it might be worth hearing somebody say, it's okay to not have to turn every single create new project action that you do out of the Epic Games Launcher into a final shipping game. It's just not, there's no rule there that says that has to happen. So, on to the actual purpose of this video, which is to demonstrate a second feature stacked on top of the view switching that I showed 2 days ago. So you see that I've improved the camera motion a little bit. It was very, very pointed last time. But our look ahead still works. That's not a point of interest. So we come over here, and if I, boom, there we go. Now I got a nice close-up look. So one of the other problems that I don't like in a lot of third-person action games is that this is pretty much the way that you control the character. Your middle finger is stuck on the W key, or your thumb is pushing forward on your gamepad, and then you use the right stick or the mouse to look around and steer. I guess you can use the A and D keys as well. What if we played around with some other kinds of movement mechanics, like what we know works from top-down games? So what I've done is I've implemented a little feature that when you press the Alt key, either Alt key, you get this targeting reticle on the environment. And you can see it sticks to normals and all that sort of thing. And when you let go, it goes away. And if you hold it down and you target somewhere and you click, then your player just moves to that location. Now this is really kind of cool when you think about it, because if we were building, say, a melee combat game and we had lock-on, and the lock-on experience is going to be I lock on and then I'm all about dodging, and it's very mode-based, right? Because now I'm in a state that I have to break away from. In the same way, you've got this passive state where, well, what if I wanted to include a ranged combat into that? And ranged combat is as much about where you are as where your opponent is. So if I really want to very precisely get in behind these crates, I don't want to have to drag my character like a tank. I want to be able to just say, hey, go to that corner, or hey, go to that corner, or I might want to be able to highlight items in the environment in a meaningful way. So this gives us a way to break out of the mouse drives camera orbit mode or phase or whatever, and jump into, you saw that bug right there, when looks like I'm not turning the light off after I turn it on. Yeah, if you let go of the Alt key on your on point of interest, it keeps the light on. Anyway, where you have these options to, maybe you've got a placeable in your inventory and you can put it on the ground right near you, or I don't know, who knows what. Who knows what I would use it for? The point is, I built this interaction method, and then all of a sudden I start playing with it. I'm like, wow, that actually feels really good. Like now I'm not stuck into only being able to orbit the camera with the mouse. I can actually interact with the environment with the mouse, and I can do it conditionally. So that's it. And I'm going to be putting together some longer videos where I go through the blueprints themselves for how to build this stuff, but I just thought it would be kind of neat for you to be able to see the features in progress, and I'm going to keep doing them. So, have a good day.